If you're considering a career in networking, you could have one of the easiest jobs, one of the most fun, stress-free jobs in the whole world. Or you could have one of the worst, most high-pressure, stressful jobs you could ever imagine. What's the difference between these two scenarios I've described? Network management. Those networking technicians that are well-versed in the tried and true practices of network management are going to have considerably better lives than those that are not. In this particular live lesson, we're going to look at the major areas of network management, and we're going to look at some of the major styles and specific tools that we'll use to be proactive when it comes to this important topic. Proactive is so important instead of the converse of reactive. We don't want to constantly be running around managing our network in a reactive manner to all of these problems. Instead, we want to cut off those problems before they become any kind of an issue. This is our proactive style that we will emphasize and delineate for you here in this important live lesson. One thing is certainly for sure in the world of computer networking: the more complex, the larger that your network is, the more of a challenge that network is going to be to manage on a day-to-day basis, on a week-to-week basis, on a month-to-month, on a year-to-year basis. You're going to be faced with challenges in managing that network. Something that I really want to stress to you when it comes to network management is to be proactive, not reactive, but proactive. This means that we're going to track down what would be potential problems in our network management before they become big issues. A great example would be the routine maintenance of systems, where you're literally cleaning these systems. It's very easy to not be proactive about this and schedule it and do it routinely, and then have a big problem when a piece of computer networking equipment fails because it hasn't been properly cleaned and maintained. In this particular video, we're going to focus on this topic of network management, and we're going to look at some of the tools that we could use when it comes to this important topic. Now, this is not a topic without some standards. As a matter of fact, there is a common standard when it comes to network management, showing you the importance of the many aspects of this important topic. There is fault management best practices that we should utilize, and these fault management best practices deal with what we do and how we can avoid faults in our network. For many of us, this is what we would consider network management to begin with. When we think network management, we think of preventing equipment from failing. Another key area, though, is configuration management. Is there a strategy in place for new configurations to be approved and then deployed out to devices? Is there a rollback strategy in place for a configuration mishap? And are you archiving configurations properly in your environment? Accounting management deals with the principle of being able to record keep on exactly what is transpiring in your network. Many network devices can provide great information about this, but we are often overwhelmed with the amount of data that we'll get from these devices. So accounting management, one of the great aspects of that is not only getting the data, but being able to effectively store and synthesize the great volumes of data we can get from our computer devices and network devices. Performance management, this is another common area people think of. Is our equipment operating the way it should? And then finally, security management. What steps are we putting in place to ensure that our network isn't initially secure, but that our network remains secure throughout its life cycle. Another great concept that I want you to know as Network Plus professionals when it comes to network management is this whole concept of in-band versus out-of-band. And by the way, out-of-band has a great acronym. It's OOB. That's right, OOB. When you see OOB, that typically means out-of-band management. This deals with where is your network management traffic. Is your network management traffic right in line with the data path? Maybe our data path goes from this router to this router to this router, and sure enough, we have our network management traffic going over those same routers, over the same communication paths with your regular old user data traffic. You can see issues with this, right? You're consuming some of the precious bandwidth for data traffic with your network management traffic. And also, you better be careful when it comes to security, since we don't want our network management traffic to fall into the wrong hands or to be viewed by the wrong eyeballs. Out-of-band management is usually preferred, and this is depicted here with the dotted line and that additional router. Here we have devices that are not in the regular data path carrying out the network management and the network management traffic for us. This obviously has great bandwidth and overhead ideals to it, and it's also going to be great for security since we can go ahead and we can separate that traffic that is for managing our network from that traffic that is coursing through the veins of our network infrastructure from our users. Now, there are lots of excellent tools that we have for the management of devices. For years, Cisco had a product themselves called Cisco Works, and that is currently being reworked. And the Cisco Works line of products is being reworked as Cisco Prime. Cisco Prime is just one of many network management products from Cisco, though. If we go up to the products and services area of their website and we go down to the category of network management and automation, we'll see there is a wide variety of categories for network management products. Maybe we have a small business and we're interested in network management products to suit that. Notice here we have the Cisco Configuration Professional, a graphical user interface tool for configuring your routers and your switches, the Cisco Configuration Assistant, which has wizards that will automate many common configurations, and the Cisco Net Manager IP Infrastructure tool for more of a generic Cisco and third-party management product. So plenty of graphical user interface products are available from companies like Cisco.com in order to help you manage that very complex network infrastructure of today. But the great news is, in addition to these additional tools that we could purchase, we do have tools built right into our devices, like SNMP and ICMP and the command line interface and syslog. Simple network management protocol is so important and so vast in scope that we have a video dedicated to it here, and so we'll look at that a bit later on. The Internet Control Messaging Protocol, this is an incredibly powerful set of language enhancements or language definitions, if you will, that give us a lot of great tools. Let me just show you what I mean. Here we are on a Cisco router, the R2 router, and I want to ensure that another router neighboring me is available. The ultimate way that I can test for this is to do a ping. The Packet Internet Groper is what I have heard that stands for. There are several schools of thought on that. But here we do a ping utilizing this underlying ICMP to see if a particular neighbor is available. These exclamation points indicate that the neighbor is indeed available, and we can see a round-trip minimum, average, and maximum time of about 8 milliseconds. So not only do we know that this neighbor is up and available and running the TCP/IP protocol properly, but we can also see that we've got pretty darn efficient connectivity to that particular device as a result of this ping. By the way, the CLI, the command line interface, is a wonderful network management tool that we're utilizing right here from Cisco. My ability to go in and interact with this device. Cisco also gives us show commands for managing the device. How about show IP interfaces brief? This powerful command shows all of the interfaces on the device, whether or not we have IP addresses assigned, and then whether the physical and the data link layers of that particular interface are up and up. You gotta love these types of powerful verification commands. Another great tool they give us at the CLI is debug commands. We can engage in debug commands to see packets as they are occurring on the device. Here I'll go ahead and do a debug frame relay packet as we are running frame relay on this device. And this allows us to see at the command line in as close to as real time as we can the particular activities that are going on involving frame. Let me send some traffic and initiate some activity over the frame relay circuit, and sure enough, that produces our debug output. These messages that we get at the command line interface of a network device are very valuable, obviously. And we can choose to view them here at the command line, or we can store them in an internal buffer on the devices, or we can send them to a central server in our infrastructure that's designed to take all these messages, store them for us, and run reports and things of that nature on the messaging. This is called a syslog for System Logging Server, and this is another great tool that we have in our tool belt as a network administrator these days. So, when it comes to network management, understand that there are many powerful tools and strategies that are going to be available to you so that you can make sure you are engaging in proactive management instead of reactive network management. Unfortunately, reactive network management can cause what we call an RPE for an administrator, and that is a resume producing event. And we want to avoid as many of those as humanly possible.